They have lost consecutive games in regulation for the first time in more than a month. Chelsea, I'll start with you. Is that a concern at all for this team going into the break?
Well, I think it's sort of a grounding thing. I don't think it's necessarily a concern. I mean, I think they do have parts that they don't have. No one's thinking the Capitals are going to charge through to a Stanley Cup because they had this hot streak. I mean, this was going to happen. There are a lot of really good things happening. They're 2 one-goal losses too. I mean, they were right in that Nashville game the whole way there. And so, I mean, I just think the things they've seen from Holtby, the way their defense is doing things, they're not relying so much on special teams. This is a different Caps team than last year. So two back-to-back one-goal losses are just sort of a regression to the mean,
Des, would you not though want to go into the break on a more of a hot streak, or has what they did before? Has what they have done before enough for you to make this not that much of a concern?
If they lose to the Oilers, then I think it's a concern. Then all of a sudden you've lost 3 in a row, and the last
went
one
to
was
a horrible team,
a horrendous team.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Chelsea's point is well taken. There had to be some regression. They went 14-1-4. Now they're 14-3-4 in their last 21 games or whatever it is. So I mean, still pretty good.
Yeah.
But by the same token, they just had this rather unsustainable hot streak, and now they could go on a cold streak. And if they do, they're in the 7th spot, I think, in the East. And it does look like the top 8 teams in the Eastern Conference have kind of separated themselves. But you have the Panthers are hanging around. I'm just saying, if the Caps do hit a cold spell here, they could fall out of the playoff spot. And then everyone would be freaking out here.
Well, Dan, what's your take on the consecutive regulation losses?
I think maybe the way the games went down made it a little bit more frustrating than it would have been otherwise. Because those are 2 good teams on the road that you lost. I think going in, if you had said you're going to lose both of those, it maybe wouldn't have even seemed that bad. But the fact that they came back from a 3 down against Dallas. They rallied against Nashville. Both those games, they really had a chance to steal at least 1 point, if not more. I think that made it a little bit more frustrating. But I've actually been surprised at some of the stuff they were saying. I think Barry Trotz was talking about this Edmonton game is almost a must-win, which to me is like, you guys are playing great right now. Like, this is just a tiny little blip. I wouldn't worry. I mean, to me, this is not like a must-win.
He would, but I think what he's saying is what Chelsea and Des referred to, is that you don't want to go into the break not just losing 3 in a row, but losing the last one to a really, really bad team.
Of course.
And that's why he's saying that.
Of course you don't, but just to me, like, things seem like pretty stable and pretty good right now.
I think in the Dallas, the loss to Nashville, I think was just fine. It's a great team. They were fired up to play Trotz. I think you can excuse any team for going there and losing. I think the Dallas loss is troubling because you had the backup goalie in there, and he's been terrible this season. So I think, if anything happens to Holtby, I think the Caps are in big trouble. And if he got a major injury, they'd probably have to swing a trade because Peters just looks not ready for it.
Well, has Holtby been the MVP in your mind to this point in the season, or
Absolutely.
Is it Ovechkin? Is it Ovechkin?
Holtby, I think, has been the Iron Man. I think he's second in the NHL in minutes played. He's absolutely been the MVP of this team so far. And you just saw it in that game. Like, if Holtby goes, I think he's the most indispensable player on the team right now.
I think you could argue for Nicholas Backstrom, too.
You could, yeah. No, he's certainly in the mix.